That doesn't make any sense.
What?
Well, I said I went live and it popped up, but it's saying that it's not showing
Yeah,
it.
I got the notification that you went live. It's just it'll do it.
That's yeah, this does sometimes.
Yeah, it says you're live. I
Does it?
see it. Yep.
It won't give it to me.
I'll post it.
Okay. Yeah, it's saying right there. Oh, now it pops up. You bastard. Oops. Dolphins moved Jawan James to right tackle. Okay. Oh, that's not where I wanted to go. Mm.
Alrighty here. So
Alright. Welcome back, Live Squad, to another Combo League podcast. I am your host, Avengers. Alongside us is our host, Lima.
what's up, guys? Great to be back. Sorry for missing last week.
Some stuff.
It was a late advance, and we just had stuff going on. So, but here we are back at it for the recap of week 4 and
Boom,
the
boom.
predictions for week 5.
Of course, like always. So, first game we got going on is Vikings at Eagles. It does say the CPU Vikings, but that's not the true. Oh, damn, that was a force anyway.
Yeah,
First game is
we do have a user for the Vikings for next week. So
yeah.
person who plays the Vikings, you're not playing CPU, you're playing a
Ooh,
user.
first game. Bills and Packers, really close game. No, 12-7. Looks like it just.
Yeah.
Wow.
Wow,
Whew,
this was a weird game.
like nothing.
No
There's.
one, yeah, only one turnover. It's just good defense, so I guess, in a lot of 3-and-outs maybe.
It looks like it. Look at.
Yeah, but it's funny to see, as you can see, for yard gain for the Bills, 80 rush yards, 0 pass yards, and as you guys know, we got a couple people in the league, me included, that like to run the ball and not pass the whole game. So it's
Yeah.
funny to see another person coming into that.
Well, if player stats, only one quarterback, and that's Aaron Rodgers, 137 yards, a touchdown, one interception, sacked 5 times. Just nothing to it
Wow.
there.
5 times, yeah. All right, here, rushing 29 attempts, 58 yards for Elijah McGuire. Let's see here, and then the leader for the Packers was the rookie Jalen Peters with 10 attempts for 41 yards, no touchdowns on the ground. It looks like.
In the receiving game, the top receiver was rookie Paul Clay out of Michigan State with 4 receptions, 79 yards, and a touchdown. And
And
for
then obviously
Buff,
there's
yeah, there's
nothing
nothing
for
from
the
Buffalo.
Bills.
Wow.
All right, let's see here. Let's see who got all those sacks for the Bills. All right, not a surprise here for any of them. Two tied with two, Marcel Darius and Gerald Hodges. Those are the leaders for the Bills in sacks.
And the one
And then
interception goes to Preston Brown. Preston Brown with the one lone interception.
he did return that for a touchdown, so it looks like that was the lone touchdown for the Bills.
I no kicker punt return, so congratulations to the Bills. Good luck to both y'all for y'all's season. Say another close game with our second game. Patriots at Dolphins, 38-34.
Yeah, and another game with honestly not that many turnovers. Two turnovers for in one game is not that bad.
No, not at all. If I had to guess, it looks like the Dolphins had a more round offense, leading in offensive yards and having great rush and great passing. Less than the Patriots, but at the same time,
Yeah.
looks
All
like
right.
it looks
So
like if you go down though, it looks like the Patriots won because red zone offense percentage, Bills were only 50%. in the uh, in the red zone, while the Patriots are at 100 with 51 penalty yards. Holy Lord!
Wow.
In the
All
player
right, so going.
stats, you want to take this one?
Yeah, sure. So, you see, Dak Prescott leads the Dolphins with 219 yards, no touchdowns, no interceptions, and that's actually pretty good from him because I think since Dak has joined the Dolphins, he's thrown quite a bit of interceptions.
First game was 7. Threw 7
Yeah,
interceptions his first game with the Dolphins.
and then Tom Brady leading the Patriots, 276 yards, two touchdowns, and two interceptions, and sacked four times.
In the rushing game, Jay Ajayi, 28 attempts for 277 yards and 9.9 average and 3 touchdowns. Really good game for him. Leading the Patriots was Keith Marshall with 14 attempts, 83 yards, a 5.9 average, and 1 touchdown, also with a fumble.
All right,
Thank you for
and
all
then
who is joining. Glad to have y'all with y'all. If y'all want to get in on this talk, just hit in that live chat and tell us what you're thinking.
all right, so going into receiving yards. The leading receiver for the Dolphins was the rookie tight end out of Oklahoma, Nash Fox, with 8 receptions for 152 yards. And the leading receiver for the Patriots was Brandon Cooks, not a surprise, 6 receptions, 117 yards and a touchdown.
I guess that was a good pickup for the Dolphins with Nash Fox. He drafted 3 tight ends, I think. I think Nash Fox was his
Yeah.
last tight end to draft, and
Yeah, he was.
he's
I
come
know it was a late pick.
he's come out and played for the Dolphins. In defensive stats, 4 sacks. Leading sack for the Patriots was Donta Hightower, and for Miami was Xavier Howard, and and rookie Dawson DeGreat and Ndamukong Suh. These are awesome guys.
Yeah.
Love these podcasts. Thank you, Clock Mardia. Clardia? Golly, that's a name.
All right, so one interception for Xavier Howard and negative 30 interception return yards. So I wonder how that happened.
Well, it's like that one
But
interception that was negative 108 yards. Means he went from the back
yeah,
of the end zone all the way to the other one.
yeah.
Lord.
All right. Were there any Yeah, there was a forced fumble. It looks like the offense might pick that one right back up.
Yeah, Raquan Lee
No defensive
misread.
touchdowns in this one.
Kick return, punt return.
No,
Good.
there wasn't even a punt return at
Yeah,
all.
no
So
kidding. Well, congratulations to the Patriots. Good luck to both y'all. Really close game. What do we got next? Whoa, these are some really close games. Like, really not high scoring for the first few games. Still the Jets, 19-7. Again, the
yeah,
Jets taking away on offense, just those turnovers. Those turnovers killed them.
yeah, that's clearly what it was. Like as you said, Jets led in everything pretty much, and just 5 turnovers compared to 1 turnover, so that'll do it.
Hmm. Again, switching up quarterbacks for the Jets. Leading for the Jets was Blake Bortles, 168 yards, 4 interceptions, and a touchdown, one sack, and Big Ben, 183 yards, interceptions, sacked 6 times. Really, neither having a good game on that passing game.
Yeah, neither really having that good of an offensive game in general. Because going over to
Yeah.
rushing, the leading rusher for the Steelers was Bell with 19 attempts for 53 yards, and then the leader from the Jets was the backup quarterback, Jake Reddick, 6 attempts for 43 yards.
Oh Lord.
So really not much going in the rushing game either.
Receiving though, of course, it's not surprising to see Robbie Anderson at the top for the Jets. Been a big threat since last season. With 4 receptions, 102 yards. And for the Steelers was Antonio Brown with 3 receptions and 73 yards.
All right, let's head over to defense and see what we got here. Looks like the leading sack from the Jets was Sheldon Richardson,
And
and
Mohamed Jefferson. tying for
Yeah,
two apiece.
Sheldon Richardson and Muhammad Wilkerson. And then the leader from the Steelers was Stephon Tuitt.
Some veterans with Sheldon Richardson and Muhammad Wilkerson though for the Jets team.
Yeah. And then it looks like Mike Mitchell was the leading interception from the Steelers. He had two, and then we had one from the Jets, and it was Marcus May. I'm guessing that Mike Mitchell, one of those was returned for a touchdown.
Well, we'll see. Forced fumbles too. One by Ryan Shazier and one by Artie Burns. Fumble. There was a fumble recovered by Shazier with -2 yards. So so there's actually a fumble recovery this game.
Yeah. Yeah, and as I said it,
hmm
Mike Mitchell did get that pick six.
Kick return or punt return, none on both. Well, congratulations to the Steelers. Good luck to both y'all. Boom. Take over this next game. Take it away for us.
Rams and Saints. I thought this game was going to be a little closer from the start of it, but going in here, you could see the Saints dominated in every style of the offense. Only thing is he had three turnovers compared to the Rams two, but he still got the job done, so the turnovers didn't really affect him that much.
I mean, it's a surprise seeing that
Um,
the Rams have been doing really well this season with their
yeah,
offense.
yeah, he's doing a lot better. And then, all right, so going over to this player stats, starting off with passing, you see the Saints Blaine Gabbert had 205 passing yards for a touchdown and three interceptions, and I am curious to see why Drew Brees is not starting. Because normally you'd think, hey, he's not starting because you got a younger guy in there, but Blaine Gabbert's
Gabbert,
really, I mean,
yeah.
he's not young. I would
He's
say
been in
that.
there 7 years. He's been in the league for seven
Yeah,
years. Maybe 10 less than Drew Brees, but Drew Brees is still
true.
high, still good at
Yeah.
passing the ball.
But anyways, he threw a touchdown and three interceptions, and then Goff for the Rams threw for 114 yards, a touchdown, and two interceptions.
In the rushing game, this random person again. Oh, thank you, Devo95, for telling us Breeze is actually injured. That's why Blaine Gabbert actually
Oh,
started.
oh, I'm surprised it doesn't show up there.
Yeah. Well, thank you guys. Thanks for telling us. But of course, this random Tennessee guy that I still don't know, Alvin Kamara, 26 attempts, 116 yards, a 4.5 averages, two touchdowns. Todd Gurley, good average, but 11 attempts for 79 yards, 7.2 average, a touchdown, and a fumble. Ooh, one of his worst games I've seen yet.
All right. Going into passing, you see the leading receiver for the Saints was Kobe Fleener with four receptions for 86 yards. Then the leader for the Rams was Sammy Watkins, four receptions, 62 yards, and a touchdown.
In defense, though, 4 sacks. Who led? For New Orleans, Nick Fairley, 1.5 sacks, and then for the Rams was Aaron Donald with one.
All right, here. Interceptions. A bunch of people tied with one. Um,
Lord,
let's see here.
I'm just
Let's
gonna
see if
go down.
anyone got a.
Yeah, I'm just gonna go down the list and show y'all who got that. Forced fumbles, though, I will talk about this. Three forced fumbles by Kenny Vaccaro, Maurice Alexander, and Nick Fairley. And fumble recoveries, apparently not.
No, not one.
And
And
no
then no
defensive
defensive touchdowns either.
oof. Kick return, punt return. Of course, none.
None of that.
Those are kind of difficult to get, but of course, like always, good luck, congratulations,
Oh wow,
Lord.
okay. So
Oof.
getting into this next one here. A bit of a blowout, we'll say.
Oof.
Okay, look at first thing I want to point out is those turnovers. Yeah,
I'm
as you guys
sorry,
can see, that's
Lord.
yeah,
That's
11
I
turnovers
don't
compared
think
to
I've seen
one.
that in the last season or this season. This is the first time it's been
I mean,
over. I
holy
think
shit.
seven turnovers has been the most we've seen.
Yeah. And I mean, he led 47-7 at halftime. It's like I so this is a little bit of a shocker for me. Oh my
Oh,
God! As you see, Russell Wilson 8 interceptions.
oh, and Cam Newton. Cam Newton only had 62 yards, but threw for 4
Well,
touchdowns.
because they kept getting the ball in the red zone. He didn't
The-
need to have any more yards. As you see, he threw for 4 touchdowns and an interception. And his
Lord,
longest was 51 yards. So the, the other
11
five
yards.
completions
Yeah,
were 11 yards.
oh god, guys. Rushing though,
Oh my
Christian
God. Oh, well,
McCaffrey.
there it all is right there.
Christian McCaffrey, a big game for him on that ground. 31 attempts, 295 yards, and 9.5 yards, and 2 touchdowns.
Yeah.
And for Seahawks, CJ Pro size, 14 attempts, 57 yards, 54.1 average, and a fumble.
Yeah. And Seahawks did have 3 fumbles, or 11 total turnovers, and throwing only 8 interceptions. That means they had 3 fumbles.
Let's see,
So,
fumbles two
by
by.
Tyler Lockett and
That's only
CJ Pro
10.
size.
That's only 10
Yeah,
turnovers.
we're missing one somewhere. We'll find it. I
Yeah,
don't
we'll
know.
find
Maybe,
it.
maybe not. All right. So leading receiver for the Seahawks was Doug Baldwin, 3 receptions, 68 yards, and a touchdown. And then Christian McCaffrey, wow, big dual threat.
No
Two
kidding.
receptions, 52 yards, and a touchdown.
In the defensive game, sacks, bunch of 4 sacks in total by Panthers.
Oh, and look at these interceptions. Man. The leader was 3 by James Bradbury, and then it's
Mike Morgan.
yeah.
Mike Morgan. He got an interception on that game. And he forced
All right.
fumbles. 3, of course, by the
Yeah. Okay. So maybe there was a fumble on like a kick return or something. I mean, I don't know why else it wouldn't show up.
defensive
But
touchdowns
as you
also.
see, yeah, there's a couple there.
Shaq Thompson, Luke Kuechly. So yeah, is there on kick return?
Okay, that's weird. What I want to say is, if you go to interception longest return, James Bradbury had a 93-yard interception return, and he did not score a touchdown off of it.
Really?
So that's he probably got caught at the very end. Just didn't have that stick work he's got to get in that end zone.
Oh man.
And then going over to kick return, you do see Curtis Samuel had 1 kick return for a touchdown. It was a 96-yard return, and that was it there.
I don't see the third turnover, guys.
Yeah, I don't either.
I don't see a third turnover. Hmm. That is really weird. But
All right.
congratulations to the Panthers. Big win for you. Good luck to both of y'all in the rest of y'all's season.
Yeah. All right, going into this next one, Lions and the Bears, and you could see this was another one-sided game.
Oh yeah.
This must have settled for a lot of field goals because that score was actually pretty close for how far apart the yardage and the turnovers were.
Yeah. Strong arm Stafford having a game for himself though, with 381 yards, a touchdown, 1 interception, sacked once. Mitchell Trubisky, 154 yards and 3 interceptions, sacked 3 times.
All right, going into the rushing, leading for the Lions was Amir Abdullah, 26 attempts, 144 yards, and a touchdown. And really, Bears not getting anything going on the ground either. Only 6 attempts for 14 yards and a touchdown for Jordan Howard.
Whew. In the receiving game, who is the biggest receiver? Marvin Jones Jr. been a big receiver since last season. Also, 8 receptions and 150 yards. And for Chicago, Deion Sims, 5 receptions for 53 yards.
All right. So, getting into the defense side, you see Cliff Averill just brought over from the Seahawks in the offseason. led the Lions with 1.5 sacks, and then the leader for the Bears was Anthony Zettel out of Penn State. He had one.
And interceptions, there's four in total for the Chicago Bears. Adrian almost having an interception, and then Darius Slay, DJ Hayden, and Gerard Davis all making up for three interceptions for the Lions.
Let's see, were there any forced fumbles? Yep. One by Kyle Fuller and one by Tahir Whitehead, and no fumble recoveries.
Huh.
So it must have been either offense recovered them or just the game doesn't show the correct stats again.
Let's see, punting, or let's see, kicking. Detroit Lions field goals attempted six and made four of them. 4 out of 6 field goals.
Yeah, so that's what it is. He got all those yards, moved downfield, and then had to settle for field goals, and then actually missed a couple. So
Well, congratulations, good job to the Lions. Good luck to both of y'all for y'all season, because that was a big win for the Lions, though, in that divisional game. But of
all right.
course, we got a big one here. If y'all are just joining us, y'all didn't watch Madden 17. Actually, Debo and your boy, now the owners of the 49ers and Broncos, were big rivals in Madden 17, always making it to the championship, playing each other. And looks like Debo came in and won this 27-15, keeping your boy to only 90 rushing yards in total. That's a
Yeah,
big thing to see for your boy to have.
yeah,
Turnovers two
and he
to
had
three.
74 pass yards too, so it looked like he's starting to throw the ball.
Looks like he was forced to. And Debo actually he won. He didn't score in the second or third quarter, only winning. He was winning all the first 3 quarters, only on 14 points, a 4 point lead going into the half, and then coming into the fourth quarter, scoring another 13. But of course, we gotta look at player stats. And C.J. Beathard, 82 yards, a touchdown, one interception, sacked 0 times. Trevor Simeon, 87 yards, 3 interceptions, sacked 3 times. Wow.
And then, as you can see, Chad Kelly came into the game just to get sacked once and then left.
Didn't even get the throw off, just got sacked.
All right, going into rushing.
Whoa.
Joe Williams leads the Niners, 25 attempts, 133 yards, and a touchdown. Two fumbles, though.
Ooh.
And then Jerome, the bus Bettis, leads the Broncos with 22 attempts and 84 yards. No touchdowns, no fumbles.
I don't see. Oh, there is the last year's MVP, C.J. Anderson, at the bottom with 1 attempt and -3 yards. I had to bring him in because I was like, I did not see the C.J. Anderson in there, and he just got destroyed. In the receiving game,
Oh.
though, leader. What?
No, I was just gonna say not much in the receiving,
Uh,
really.
but, of course, Kenny Galladay leading again for the 49ers has been all last season, all this season. One reception for 53 yards and a touchdown. And for Denver, it was Jake Butt, 2 receptions for 32 yards. It's just,
Yeah. It was interesting to see Kenny Galladay with only one reception because
oh, yeah.
he's been the main guy the whole season. But it just shows you how much of a threat he is that his one reception was a 53-yard touchdown.
That is, that is absolutely right, Lima. To have just one time touch the ball and just took it all the way to that house.
All right, so moving on over to the defensive side, four of the 49ers tied for a sack. DeForest Buckner, Eric Reed, Eric Armstead, and Chandler Kane, the rookie. Well, let's see here.
San Diego State rookie, too. That's not a college you hear much for.
Representing the Mountain West.
In
All right.
interceptions, Eric Reed, Rashad Robinson, another rookie out of Texas, Barry Wade, strong, all having an interception, and then Lorenzo Doss for the Broncos. Looks like
And then,
nope. I was gonna say looks like
sorry, what
Debo
were you
getting
gonna
a
say?
lot of his rookies in though. All these games, the rookies doing something, interception, a sack, or everything all above.
Yeah, and then as you can see, two forced fumbles, one by Melvin Ingram and then one by Von Miller, and were any of those? It does not look like any of those were recovered by the defense.
Oh, actually,
Oh, yeah,
another
you
name
do
change,
see the one.
Sean Taylor, rookie out of Alabama with the fumble recovery. Doesn't look like he went anywhere, but it looks like he recovered.
Yeah, and then two defensive touchdowns, one by each team, off the pick six by Eric Reed and a pick six by Lorenzo Doss.
Oh, Debo hits us up again saying he got both of them. He got both forced fumbles, but it only shows one recovery.
That's
That's Madden
interesting.
for you. That's
This
Madden.
game needs to fix its
Yeah,
stats.
that is Madden for you. Punt or kick returns? No, they're not. Well, big game for both of them, just because of their rivalry from last year. And congratulations to Debo for a win. Good luck to both of y'all.
All right,
Oh, where we at? Oh,
17. Ooh, this was a pretty good game actually.
yeah, to keep a uh, MP Tiger Pride last year's Super Bowl champion to only 17 points with the Atlanta offense. That's a big game.
Yeah, that's a really good game for the Redskins on his part, but can't take away what the Falcons did. He did
No,
win this game, so let's get into this.
three turnovers though. He did. Redskins forced three turnovers on the Falcons, only turning the ball over once.
Yeah, and it looked like going into the fourth quarter, it was a 10-7 game, and the Falcons
Uh,
scored a lone touchdown to take the 10-point lead, and that was it. But yeah, so this was a close game all the way through. All right, so let's get into the passing here. Matt Ryan from the Falcons, 251 pass yards, a touchdown, and two interceptions. And then Kirk Cousins, 101 pass yards, no touchdowns, and one interception.
really not a good game for either passing.
No.
Matt Ryan did have the yards, but he looks like he just could not complete or finish anything. Going, yeah. In the rushing game though, Ty Montgomery, coming in 17 attempts for 119 yards, a 7 average, and a touchdown. Tevin Coleman, 23 attempts for 114 yards, a 5 average, one touchdown, and one fumble. I think that's a good game for the Redskins to keep Tevin Coleman with that many rushers for
Yeah.
that low of yards.
Well, that's all right. So going into the receiving, as you can see, leading receiver for the Falcons was Taylor Gabriel, two receptions, 80 yards, and a touchdown. And then the leader for the Redskins. Did I say the Reds? No, the leader for the Falcons was Taylor Gabriel. Leader for the Redskins, Terrell Pryor Sr., with one receptions for 41 yards.
Goofy picture.
Yeah.
In the sacks, though, leading sacker was Ryan Kerrigan, linebacker turned right in with 2.5, and for Atlanta it was both Deion Jones and Duke Riley, both having one. Lord. Oh yeah, big sack game though for the Redskins.
And then going over the interceptions, you see Devondre Campbell had the lone interceptions from the Falcons. And Deshaun Shedd and DJ Swearinger are both tying with one interception for the Redskins.
Josh Dustin, owner of the Washington Redskins, says I threw that interception with under 2 minutes left in the fourth, and he scored that last
Ooh.
touchdown for the dagger. Ooh,
Oh,
in the
so he
fourth,
had a
had
chance to
yes.
take the lead on the game-winning drive
Oh,
through the picks or through the interception. Oh, that's tough.
that's a big one. That's heartbreaking. I know that feeling to have that happen. You're on that last drive, and it gets you. In
Yeah.
forced fumbles though, we got Ryan Kerrigan with one and Ewan Price with one.
And you do see that there is a fumble recovery, and it's by Trent Murphy.
-2 yards.
No
Oh,
defensive touchdowns.
there was a blocked kick by Washington Redskin Kendall Fuller. Now that's something that Madden 17 was easier to get block
That's
kicks,
rare.
and
Yeah.
Madden 18 is so rare to get that.
Yeah, it's really rare.
No punt or kick return touchdowns, but congratulations to the Falcons. Good luck to both y'all. Really good game. I like looking at these kind of games where it's just it is a close game and it comes down to the ending.
Yeah. I like seeing stuff like that too. And it looks like we might have another one of those games here with this next one.
Ooh,
Chiefs and the Texans. As you could see, the Texans came out and got the dub, 27-20. And going into this, I mean, Chiefs really did dominated and not really dominated, but had better stats and everything except for he had the 5 turnovers.
but to come out this 27-20 didn't come back until fourth quarter.
Wow.
Fourth quarter
Wow.
scoring 20 points. That
So it was 7-17 going into the fourth quarter,
wow.
and
Chiefs owned the ball 16 minutes while the Texans only had it for 11 too. They're both red zone offensive percentages are just 75% for the Chiefs and 66 for the Texans.
all right. So going into the passing stats, you see not really the best game from either quarterback. Pat Mahomes threw for 251 yards, 1 touchdown, and 4 interceptions, and Deshaun Watson threw for 225 and 3 interceptions.
Was their completion rating
Wow.
58 and 51% for completion ratings for both quarterbacks? Oof. In the rushing game though, maybe this will look better for us. No, not really. Lamar Miller, 16 attempts for 74 yards, 4.6 average, and 2 touchdowns. Latavius Murray, 18 attempts for 72 yards, a 4 average, 1 touchdown, and 1 fumble. Oof.
The receiving was pretty much spread out through a lot of receivers, but leading from the Texans was Braxton Miller with 2 receptions, 69 yards, and leading from the Chiefs was Tyreek Hill, 4 receptions for 67 yards.
Very spread out game. In defense, though, this is where it came down to sacks. Chiefs having two people leading with sacks with 1.5. Yukeem Aligwe,
There's that name again.
and Justin Houston both having 1.5. And for Houston Texans having one, two, three people with Carlos Watkins, J.J. Watt, and Marcus Gilchrist all having one sack.
All right, let's look at these interceptions now. Leading from the Texans was Kevin Johnson with 2, and 3 people. Yeah, 3 people from the Chiefs were tied with 1. It was Tre'Davious White, Ron Parker, and Rameek Wilson.
That's forced fumbles, two. One by Jadavion Clowney and one by Marcus Gilchrist.
And Whitney Merciless had a recovery on one of those fumbles. Wow. And so both of those interceptions by Kevin Johnson were returned for touchdowns.
Wow. It looks like I'm wanting to say both of those were in the fourth quarter.
Yeah, it's very possible.
Kick return or punt return? Neither. Oh, congratulations to the Texans for a comeback in the fourth quarter. Good luck to both of y'all. the rest of the season. 'Cause that's a good game right there. And our final game, Colts versus Jaguars, 53-28 game.
Oh, and
It's it's the turnovers. It's always the turnovers
yeah,
with this kind of game
yeah, it
because
really is. This is a close game stat wise, so it really does come down to turnovers.
oh, we got something now. Clock Martia Splardia. Hats off to the Jaguars. They played hard. See, that's good sportsmanship right there. Glad to see that kind of stuff. Red zone efficiency again. Jags having a 50%. It's oof. What are we looking at, Lima,
Wow,
for those player stats?
50%.
What are we looking at with these
Let's
player
see here.
stats?
All right, passing. As you can see, Cameron Wolf, the rookie from Wisconsin, threw for 364 yards, 3 touchdowns, and 4 interceptions. And then Andrew Luck from the Colts had 314 yards, 2 touchdowns, and 2 interceptions.
If Cameron Wolf, if he hadn't thrown at least two of those interceptions, would say that was a perfect game for a rookie. Because you don't expect rookies not to throw any interceptions, but if he had not thrown two of those, I think that would have been a perfect game for them.
Yeah, I mean it's really hard. Honestly, with any quarterback, the way like how aggressively these defenders play the ball, it's so hard not to throw an interception with anyone if you're passing all game long.
Oh yeah. In the rushing game though, Jerick McKinnon, 25 attempts for 128 yards, a 5.1 average, three touchdowns,
Easy.
and one fumble. Leonard Fournette actually having a really good game, and it's good to see him coming back from. I'm sorry, he had a really bad rookie season, but 13 attempts, 125 yards, a 9.6 average, and one touchdown. I think that's a perfect game for a running back.
Yeah,
A top tier or a low tier running back. A 9.6 average is a perfect game for a running
yeah,
back.
yeah. But I would still take 5.1 any
Oh
day of the
yes,
week.
because
That's
that's
two
two.
rushes
Yeah,
for a first down.
two rushes for a first down.
All right, moving on over to receiving. You see the leading receiver from the Jags was D.D. Westbrook, 4 receptions, 125 yards and a touchdown. And then from the Colts, it was Philip Dorsett with 4 receptions, 123 yards and 2 touchdowns.
In the defensive game too. Let's see sacks. Whew. Indianapolis sack leader O.J. Hefney, rookie out of Florida State with 3 sacks. Wow, a defensive tackle, 3 sacks in that game. That's amazing for Jacksonville. It was four people with Dewan Smoot, Dante Fowler Jr., Calais Campbell, and Jalen Myrick, all having themselves 1 sack.
Yeah.
Holy
And then,
crap!
wow. Going to interceptions, you got one, two, three, four, five, 6 people all tied with one.
Lord,
Let's see here. Did any of them? Let's see. Forced fumbles. There were 3 of them. One by Jabal Sheard, one by Miles Jack, and one by T.J. Green.
fumble
And as you can
recoveries two.
see, it does show 2 fumble recoveries.
Prince
Okay, so maybe
Amara and Barcavius Mingo.
and going over to defensive touchdowns, you see the Colts did have 2. One with Barcavius Mingo, and the other was Daryl Washington.
So one
Let's see, was
interception. So one pick six and one fumble six.
yeah.
Hey, it's really
And
good to
fumble
see.
six actually is not really anywhere near as popular as a pick six.
I don't know, because fumble six is usually when it's fumbled, they pick it up and they either roll or they're
Fall,
caught as
yeah.
soon as they pick it up. So that's
Hmm.
cool to see something that's not a pick six. no
Yep.
punt
And then
return.
going into the kicking game, nobody attempted a field goal. That's interesting with a high score like that.
Josh Lambo did miss an extra point though. And Adam Vinatieri missed 3 extra points.
Yeah. All right.
But
So,
congratulations to everybody in week 4 who won their game. Good luck to all of y'all in the rest of y'all season. It's a long season. We're only in week 5. We're not even at the halfway point yet. So good luck and congratulations. But we've come down to the point of the second top thing everybody likes to see in these podcasts, and that's who's going to be the game of the week. And of course, like always, guys, it's up. Y'all can choose y'all's own game of the week. Tell us in comments. Hit us up on Twitter at Madden_podcast. It should say live in the name. Boom, you hit us up with your prediction. But I usually pick these, but we are having a special with Lima picking game of the week
all right.
for week 5.
All right. So, looking at this week's 5 schedule, there's one game. There's a couple games that I was thinking about, but one game really caught my eye in particular, and it's the 49ers versus the Lions. You got
Ooh,
Debo, who he's played really well. He played really well last season. He's starting off really well this season too. And then R. Thorpe, he's honestly, I think he's a little bit underrated in this league.
oh yeah.
He had a couple of really good games last season after he joined, and then hasn't gone off to the best start this season. But I think that he's going to really bring it here. And if he were to get a win here, it would definitely turn his season around for the best. But
Def-
honestly, I think this game is going to be a really close and really good one to watch.
and guys, no, not every game we do is going to be a division game. Those are the most popular, but we like to get out there, have different games with like Lima said, 49ers and Lions. Lions really underrated, but and 49ers Debo been known for his rushing and just pulling games in his favor. But Lima, let's see your standpoint on this. Offense, defense, both sides, one position. What are we seeing here in this kind of game?
Um, I mean, honestly, I think it's going to be whoever can protect the ball the best in this game because, as you know, Debo has got a really good defense. He gets a lot of interceptions. So, for the key for Arthorpe to win this game would be to limit the turnovers and try and get a good run game going so you're not trying to force passes. And I'd say the key for Debo to win this game is actually the opposite. Just get a lot of turnovers on defense. And honestly, I think if his running back is able to go off and his receiver that I forgot his name,
Kenny Galladay.
Kenny Galladay. Yeah, if Kenny Galladay is able to have any game like he usually does, then he should do just fine this game.
Yeah, I'm gonna agree with you on that because yeah, Debo can throw the ball. We've seen it, Kenny Galladay go off in many games this season and last season, but he's known for that rush. And Williams has just blown the rushing game out of the water this season. But Arthorpe is known for his passing game with strong arm Stafford, been able to just land perfect dots. And as you said, it's gonna be a defensive who can limit their turnovers, and they're gonna really, like you said, they're gonna have to switch it up. Um, Debo's gonna have to go both sides of the ball, not just running. He's gonna have to also pass a lot more, and Arthorpe's gonna have to run a lot more from his passing offense. So, who is your standpoint on this game? Who has it over the other?
This is a
Obvious,
tough one.
yeah, obvious choice would be to go with Debo on a win, but we've said that before, and we've been proven wrong.
Yeah,
So,
I mean, and it seems like a lot of upsets have been happening this year too. But and even though this is the game of the week and the obvious choice would be Debo, I think it might still be considered an upset if the Lions were to pull this one out.
yes.
But I don't know. I think I am gonna have to go with Debo on this one. I think he's the better choice for this one. But Arthorpe's definitely gonna put up a good fight, and that's why I chose this as the game of the week. So I say Debo in a close one.
I think it's a close one. It's really hard for me to choose because if Arthorpe can keep those, if he can project the ball, not force passes, and can stop Debo's run, if he can stop the run, I think he has a bigger chance. um, I'm gonna have to agree with Debo. Arthorpe's gonna put up a big game. It's not. It's gonna be a close down to the wire game in my opinion, but I'm gonna have to go with Debo also. It's not because it's a smart choice or it's obvious. It's just Debo plays hard, and if he can't run, he passes. If he can't pass, he runs. He switches up. He learns from the situation he's in, and he runs with it.
All right. Oh, good luck to both of you guys. We'll look forward to watching that one in streams this week.
And of course, come down to the last section of the game, which is a weekly award for week 4. And not a surprise, really not a surprise for this game, for the offensive players of the week and defensive.
Yeah. I mean, both big rushing games.
Oh yeah.
I mean, really big rushing games. 295 yards for McCaffrey, 2 rushing touchdowns. Then he had 52 receiving yards. And then same with Jay Ajayi. He was dual threat on offense as well with 277 rush yards and 61 receiving yards.
And then you got
And
Shaq Thompson and Kevin Johnson. Shaq Thompson with 2 tackles and one of them being one of them being a sack. He had 2 interceptions, forcing a fumble. He recovered the fumble and he got a touchdown. And Kevin Johnson, 6 tackles, 2 interceptions, and 2 touchdowns. I think they played hard. Those 2 players played hard on defense.
yeah, yeah. So good performances by all 4 of those guys, and hopefully they can keep it up and get that XP.
Oh yeah. Anything else to say before we leave? You anything to say to these viewers in the league and some of
Um,
y'all that aren't in our league?
Yeah, I do want to say, as you guys know, the power rankings do come out every 4 weeks, and the power rankings will come out this week. They're going to come out tomorrow, and I will let everyone know as soon as the website is updated with all those power rankings. So hang in there, and we'll see it all tomorrow.
Of course, guys, as always, if you're new to this channel or if you're just returning to this channel and you haven't done it, hit that subscribe button, hit that bell button. It seems like a lot of y'all now are on that bell because y'all are joining quick. Y'all are always in this as soon as we start, and I'm really loving it. Y'all are just making this a lot of fun. And of course, if you hit that like button, y'all show so much support when we don't do it. If we miss a day, y'all are all on us, and we love it. It shows that y'all really support this series, and hopefully y'all hit that blue thumbs up for us. And any videos that now come out, I will be putting our Twitter in there in the description, and I'll also be putting the link to the webpage for Combo League. If you just even if you're not a part of the league, but you want to just see inside the league what our channel is about and what our players are about, I'll also be putting that in there for y'all. But of course, we thank y'all. We love the support, and I'm your host, Avengers, and alongside us is our host, Lima.
All right, guys, and we'll see you next week. Thanks for joining us.
We'll see you next week, Live Squad.